Happy fall and welcome to September's Artsnacks unboxing. I'm excited to see what we have for this month. First, we have our handy info card, as always. A pack of Cretacolor Aquagraph colors. Smarties, literally my least favorite snack. I will be giving these to my dad again, as usual. And now I'm going to struggle with this very well-wrapped packaging and try to see what's going on in here. Okay, so we have our sticker for this month. A Micron PN pen, which has a plastic nib as opposed to the traditional Micron pens. A double-ended brush marker in a nice pastel color, and a King Art Golden Taklon brush with an oval petal shape. All of these supplies should work really well together for the Artsnacks challenge. So I've been getting more into digital illustration recently. I got a Wacom tablet, oh gosh, probably almost a decade ago, and I'm sad to say hardly used it. I'm just now finally getting into discovering all of its capabilities. It's been really fun and inspiring, and I just did a design using my tablet that featured anemone flowers, which are one of my favorite flowers, so I'm going to be drawing anemones for this project. What's cool right off about these pencils are the muted colors. It comes with an assortment of different colors, including blue, turquoise, red. This is a red one I'm using right now, but they just have a tint of color. They're mostly still the color of graphite, and that's because these are made out of water-soluble graphite, so they're not your regular watercolor pencils. I actually love the muted colors. I think it's really nice for when you're going for that specific sort of color scheme, and it automatically has a really cool weathered vintage look, almost like when you stain your paper with tea or coffee. As I blend them with water, the other difference I notice is that with watercolor pencils, a lot of the time you still see your original pencil strokes a little bit. They still stay darkest where you first laid down the color and never really blend out all the way, but these blend out really smooth where you don't really see any of your original pencil marks. So again, when you're looking for that kind of effect, these will be great. Now, as for the brush, interestingly enough, the oval petal shape that has a rounded edge but with the pointed tip is actually, according to the info card, specifically designed for painting petals, leaves, stems, all that sort of thing. So it's funny that without knowing that, I happened to pick flowers to make today. What's cool about this series of brushes is that they work well for watercolor, acrylic, oil paint, any kind of paint. And I love that because really any of my brushes I have, whether you're supposed to or not, I use them for all mediums. I rarely have brushes that I use separately, like, oh, these are just my watercolor brushes, these are just my acrylic brushes. I work with a lot of different mediums. I'm mostly a 2D mixed media artist, so I really like the fact that they're designed to work well with all different kinds of paint. This brush is nice, and it's fun working with a unique shape that I haven't used before, but overall, I have to say this isn't quite my personal favorite brush I've gotten from Artsnacks, simply because the bristles are super, super soft. I like bristles, I guess they're a little more firm and tight when you press down. Just personal preference, really. So overall, great brush, but a little soft for me. Now, since it happens to be green, I'm going to use the brush pen to add some subtle leaves in the background. What's interesting about these markers is they have two different brush tips, one with a lighter version of the specific color and one with the darker version of the same color. This makes them absolutely perfect for blending and creating dimension. The other thing I have to say I appreciate is the first thing I noticed about these permanent brush markers is the fact that they don't smell like anything. Typically, permanent markers, even the artist kind, are so stinky. These are water-based, but still permanent, and they still don't fade in sunlight, which is super cool. I didn't even know such a thing existed. I definitely would like to get some more of these in different colors. Now I'm going to go back to the pencils and use a different color for the centers. There isn't a black, but that's okay because I kind of want to try out some of the other muted colors anyway, so I'm going to go for the navy blue. Alright, and now that all my painting is dry, I'm going to use the pen to throw on some outlines and tighten everything up a bit. Using the nib tip with this pen instead of the traditional one is actually really cool. I mentioned earlier that I've gotten into digital illustration more recently, and the feel of this is exactly the same, or as close as possible, to a digital pen. Depending how you press and tilt the pen, you can get a subtle variety of line weights, most of them ranging from super fine to just maybe medium fine, so I really enjoy this pen a lot. And as far as line consistency, bleeding, all that good stuff, Micron pens are always wonderful, so this one is no exception. This has been another great box. I really love the watercolor pencils, and it was especially nice that they gave such a large pack with a variety of 6 different colors. Though a bit soft for my liking, the brush was also really nice. I like the unique shape, kind of a blend between a filbert brush and a traditional round brush that comes to a point at the end, so that was really cool. And of course, the double-ended markers, the first ever permanent art markers that don't smell just awful the entire time you're using them. Big fan of that. And as I said, another great Micron pen. It was nice to try a different type. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see future unboxings, as well as other art demos and fun stuff I have in store, be sure to subscribe. Thank you!